Hello, everyone. There we go. All right. Let's get this old PC booted, or emulator as it actually is. What cheaper food than something that pays to come to you? Well, unfortunately, that reduces the number of people who are willing to show up later. So alas, we can't just keep the tigers fed purely on visitors. Can you breed gazelles or something and feed them those? Technically, you could. I think the number one downside would be that it would be expensive. And you would also get a bit of a downside in that it would very briefly at least, make the gazelles very unhappy. Alright, scenario. Specifically, we are looking for saving the great cats. Alright, we played this last time and very narrowly didn't make it. So, let's do it again. This time, hopefully, with 100% more success. Step one, of course, is to sell everything. Recreating their natural habitat. For certain values of natural habitat, I suppose that can be considered to be true. All right. Dirt path, because I'm a cheapskate. All right, so we need to save money like crazy because we're gonna have to build a lot of exhibits. We're gonna be using a lot of chain link, I think. Yeah, it'll be cheaper to hire a maintenance worker later to run around repair chain link. Let me think. Also, I should probably focus on making smaller exhibits because I'll save a lot of money. Do I have any interest in Hearts of Iron 4? I used to really like to play that game. And then they started adding bullshit to it, and I don't know. It's probably still fun, but I don't enjoy having to spend all my research slots researching 20 different individual weapons for whatever ship you might want to make. And I've saw that they've done the same thing to tanks and airplanes and stuff too. I don't know. They made it more complicated than it needs to be nowadays. That said, someday I should probably go back and play it some more. I do own it, and I own a bunch of the DLC. There's definitely some new ones I don't own now. Okay. think we'll put the edge there. We could put it over here and gain 2 free pieces of fence, but I want to be farther away from the main walkway. And then I need to figure out how large of a pen I need to actually make. I think I'm going to probably try to make minimum size pens. So I should probably check to see what minimum size pen actually is. Oh, let's see. Where's the list of animals? Page 49. We are looking for the lion. We need 20 tiles per animal, so we need a 60 tile exhibit in order to get 3 lions, which is how many I want. Okay, we want to do 10 tiles out. And then I probably should have put this farther away, actually. Then I'd have more room for an intersection here. Whatever, who cares? It's not going to matter for this. Okay, so that'd be 50 tiles right there. There's 60 tiles. Boom. Boom. 60 tile line exhibit. Okay. We don't want to cover the whole thing with spanagrass. Actually, let's not cover any of it yet. We need a zookeeper. We need paths. That'll be the viewing area. I'm just going to do 2 wide paths for this area at least, because I can't be bothered making fancier ones at the moment. We're not going to be decorating the center lines of the paths or anything like that. Not in this zoo. Okay, lions. With minimum size exhibits, it might be a little bit difficult to hit 100% even with lions, but I don't think we'll actually have trouble. Lions are pretty easy to make a nice exhibit for. Okay. Okay, that's one too many. It's one too many. Okay. That should be as close to perfect as we can get it. Now, we want to use some small rocks. Let's add that. They'll enjoy that. Okay, how many rocks do you little bastards want? Bunch, apparently. Alright, let's just start adding some trees. We can come back to rocks later. Okay. There's the one for getting 90-some %. Oops. Damn it, I shouldn't have... Oh well. We'll put the cheetah in next, I think. Alright, it's 100% suitability. Good enough for who it's for. Now, the cheetah, I believe, is 50 tiles per animal. Or something like that. Hello, wormholer. So let's check what the cheetah's actual... Oh. Come on, I released the mouse already. Let go of my mouse. Okay, fine. There. Cheetah requires 50 tiles per animal. Okay, so we need 100 tiles for the cheetah. So that was correct in how much they needed. Boom. That should be enough for 2 right there. Put the entrance over here. We do need to start research on animal enrichment. And endangered animals. Okay. Anyway. Now. Cheetah. Okay. Give them a little enclosure over there, or a little house over there. All right. Now, to lay out the terrain. Not enough savanna grass, not enough dirt. I don't remember if they need water or not. They do not. Okay. Gotta be careful because I don't want to put in too much savanna grass. I have to undo a bunch of it. I thought these guys wanted a little bit of sand, but I guess not. Okay. That should tick that off nicely. Foliage. What kind of foliage do they like? Thorn bush. Okay, that's easy to do. They also like the thorn, whatever the hell it's called. White Bengal tiger. We're going to be building a thing for some of them fairly soon. Okay, that's 87%. Let's go ahead and add a termite mound. That gets us to 89%. That's good enough for who it's for. All right. Now, let's continue. I believe we need leopards, but we should definitely double check. Two leopards, yep. Okay. Also, let's put in a viewing area here on the front so people can actually look at the animals. There we go. And we should probably go ahead and get concessions going. We don't necessarily need them yet, but also I would like them as soon as possible. Yeah, we'll put it right there. Let's see, where would be the most inconvenient possible place to build? That's probably the least likely place I'm going to want to put animals, and therefore the best place for that. I could put in various guest happiness bullshit, but not too worried about that just yet. Okay. Now, Jaguar. How much space do you need, Jaguar? Or leopard, I mean. 35 tiles an animal. Okay, so we need 60, 70 tiles. It's a good thing I checked because I would have definitely, my first instinct would be to say like 20, 25 tiles. Okay, so 75 or 70 tiles. That means we need to do 7 across. And unfortunately, that'll be 1 tile too small. Thanks to a little jog in the wall there. That has no reason to exist other than to annoy me. So we'll make it a little bit larger than they technically need, but only by the smallest possible amount. Okay. Let's go ahead and add a viewing area. Beautiful. Okay, that'll work. And then, boom. Add animal, leopard. Leopard A. Leopard B. Okay, needs more foliage, not enough rainforest floor, too much sand, not enough savanna grass. All right. I don't know how much rainforest floor these guys need. Gonna assume it's a relatively small amount. Or maybe not. Too much sand is no longer red, so that means it's not enough dirt. Not enough savanna grass. Too much sand. Not enough fresh water. Okay. Okay. Too much sand. Where's there sand? Oh, there's some sand. Just wants to have some fun and would like a toy. Well, unfortunately, I don't have any toys they would like. They want the baobab tree, which unfortunately for them is giant enormous. So I'll give them one as a treat. And otherwise they're going to get shitty little trees because they're cheaper. Well, not cheaper, but they give more effect per. Actually, that's weird. Still says too much sand. I've got to be missing some sand somewhere. All right, there's some sand. Thought I'd put dirt on all of that. All right. I need to, like, I get a, yay, we're happy about the foliage with the first one, but not with the second one, which is very weird. That is never how that works. So clearly there's something weird going on with these particular trees. And therefore we should try a different tree. Thing is, I want to use only small trees. Let's try these. Okay, those are popping up a thing with every tree I place. Wow, these guys are very picky. Their exhibit suitability is up to 89% already, and it's still in the yellow. Okay, there we go. Now, is that good enough rock for you, or do you want a better rock? That gets to 95%. Okay, that's good enough. They do want a toy. They're not going to get a toy until I have it researched. Which unfortunately won't be for a little while. I think that's all the savanna animals I need. Black leopard, snow leopard, clouded leopard. We still need like 3 different kinds of leopard. And then we need like 3 different kinds of tiger. 2 of which are literally identical. Okay, so we don't want the tigers over here because I want to use animals that require uneven terrain in this area. Save myself a little bit of money. So I think we're going to put the tigers. That is a great question. Where am I going to put the tigers? Okay, first of all, how much space do these damn things need? Because remember, we're trying to save money here. The Siberian tiger requires rough terrain, I believe. Yeah. So I kind of want the Siberian tiger down in the corner. So I might actually put that in next. White Bengal tiger, 35 tiles per animal. Bengal tiger, same. Okay, so we need two 70 tile exhibits. That's unfortunate. I mean, 70 tiles is not that large. Um, I could very easily fit a tiger down there in that corner. No, I'm going to leave this corner empty. We're going to put the Siberian tiger here, which, damn it, how many tiles did he need? He needed 35 tiles as well. Okay, so we need three 70 tile exhibits. Okay. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, let's do it this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Boom. And then we do 7 across. 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's one hilly exhibit. Not a very good hilly exhibit, mind you. I might end up flattening this one and using this one as the hilly one. We'll see. Well, I need a couple of different animals that need hilly. Isn't one of them... Like, doesn't the snow leopard require hills? Let me check. Also, I don't know why on capturing the mouse decided to break itself that way. Let's see. Where's the frickin' snow leopard at? Okay. It is a highlands animal, which does suggest that flatness would be bad. Also, it's once again 35 tiles an animal. Apparently, that's a very popular size. Okay. Okay. There's our two hilly animal pens, and then we'll put the two tigers right beside him. Okay. That should work. Do a little bit of terrain modification over here. Get things nice and flat for these two pens. These two are going to have to be all messed up later. But that's a later problem for later Milo. Let's go ahead and finish all the exhibits. That way I can place all their exhibit entrances where I need them to be. Okay. Actually, I'm going to put the tigers together. And I'm going to put the hilly nutcases together. And then we'll just run this over here like that. Those three can have a zookeeper. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and assign you to those three exhibits. We're going to ignore the hilly nutcases for now. And let's continue this path. That'll do. Those two exhibits can share a viewing area. All right. Now, these two exhibits are going to be identical. Or at least they can be identical. We are running low on cash, so we might not be able to build these right away. Let's see, what all do I need to add to these before I start dropping tons of cash on them? Namely the animals. Okay, well there goes pretty much all of our money, and we didn't get anything real done there. Except now we get our 10,000 emergency cash. Hell yeah. So now we can waste that money on getting both of these all tigered up. We want the Bengal tiger and the white Bengal tiger. And we want these exhibits to be very nice because I want particularly the white Bengal tigers to breed. Needs more foliage. Not enough grass. Not enough rainforest floor. Not enough fresh water. Okay. Not enough grass. Not enough rainforest floor. Too much sand. I received another 15k. I'm not sure what that one was from. Oh. Okay. Not enough dirt. Okay, let's duplicate that. 4 tiles of dirt. Let's duplicate them exactly, otherwise I'm going to get confuzzled. Too much sand, not enough rainforest floor. Too much sand. Did I somehow miss some, or is it just not updating properly? Because I sure don't see any sand left. I think they're just smoking some. More foliage. Okay, these guys like mangrove trees. Which is good, because mangrove trees are nice and small. So we can fit at least 1 million of them in each of these pens. There's black leopard. We're going to need some of those. Alright, they're at 96%. I'm going to give them each a rock because sure, why not? And that's good enough. Okay. Oh, let's reduce the admission cost. And increase zoo marketing. Because we need more people to make more money. Alright. Where's that damn zookeeper? There you are. You get assigned to those 2 cats. Alright. Lions, tigers. We have Siberian tiger. And 3 different kinds of leopard, and then jaguars left. Okay. We should be able to fit all that shit in. It is mid/late February. Guess they're saying the entrance fee is a really good value. Well, that's nice. Snow leopards are available. Let's go ahead and make some modest changes. Yeah. Lion climbing rock is now available. I already have a lion climbing rock, but I believe this is the bigger one, which would succeed in making the lions even happier. Unfortunately, they're going to have to suck it up because I'm not buying them the better one. Yeah. We'll hold off on building those two for now. I think we're going to put the other exhibits across the back here. Probably. That's the idea anyway. Bengal Tiger 1 has given birth. That's nice and all, but I wish it was the white Bengal Tigers because they're worth a whole hell of a lot more money. Namely because then I get the giant chunk of cash for having an endangered species reproduce. Which I would quite enjoy having, thank you. Some idiot didn't shake that one up first. All right. Cheetah, leopard. I should probably go ahead and do the Siberian tiger next. We can put that one right here. They do like the rock cave shelter, which I don't think I've unlocked yet. Yeah. Are you guys like the rock cave too? I don't remember. Maybe. Oh well. Yeah. It's gonna cost 2,000 for the animals. It'll probably cost 3 or 4 times that for terrain. Yeah, we probably don't have the money to build the Siberian tiger pen yet. I'm going to go ahead and put in concrete shelters because they're good enough for any animal. I will need to hire them a zookeeper, so that decreases the money I have available by even more. I'm really surprised we don't have lions, baby lions. Because they're super common usually. Okay, how much does it cost for the gray stone? 1,500 for a full patch of it. Okay. And snow is like 2,500. Ugh. Yeah, it's been kind of brutal buying the train modifications for those. Oh well. Guest happiness could definitely stand to be higher. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a whole lot I could do about that. I think I've reached... Yeah. Okay, so what animals are we going to need to get yet? Siberian tiger. We have the place set up for them. Black leopard. Snow leopard. We have the place for them. Clouded leopard. And jaguar. Okay, where are the damn jaguars in this list? Aren't they like a savanna animal or some bullshit? No, they're a rainforest animal. Jaguar, there we go. Okay. I can put these guys over here beside the other rainforest animals. Yeah, let's go ahead and... Bengal Tiger 3 is ill. That's nice. Zookeeper, get your ass over there and take care of them, please. Let's check... How much space are we going to need for the jaguar? 20 tiles per animal, so we only need a 40 tile exhibit. Lovely. That'll save us a bit of money. Let's make it half the depth I normally would. Okay. Man, that exhibit is really small. Okay. Oh. Did I actually make that too small? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, okay, it's 8 by 5. That should be the right size. I just accidentally drug the fence out. One tile too many. Okay, there we go. It's going to cost all of my money just to buy 2 Jaguars. So let's prepare for a Jaguar without actually wasting money on it. Okay, there we go. Now we have baby lions. Okay. Also, I do want to reduce some of the terrain height out here. It's relatively cheap to do. There we go. All right. Now, how much money are we actually making? Not really a huge amount. Making a bit over 5,000, almost 6,000 a month. Yeah, we're gonna be pretty hard pressed to build a ton of exhibits with that much money, but that's why we're doing minimum size ones. Could you stop researching the random bullshit that we don't actually need? Which means I probably should turn off the giant panda, because I don't think that... I think we have all the animals we need of research now. There's no point in doing any more research on that. I'd kind of like to do animal shelters, but I care a lot more about animal enrichment at the moment. If that fly doesn't stop buzzing me, there's going to be a murder. If I can figure out a way to carry it out anyway. I need to get a fly swatter. Oh. I might as well make all the terrain in their rainforest. Because there's going to be very little other terrain. There'll probably be a little bit of other terrain, but... yeah. Alright. It's May 1st and we has no money. Hurry up and produce young tigers. I need saleable tigers as well as endangered species. There we go. 10k from endangered species. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed. That'll get us at least 2 more exhibits. Okay, you get that 3rd exhibit onto your portfolio. What do you little shits want? Not enough dirt, too much rainforest, not enough fresh water. Okay. All right. Boom, that's perfect. Now, what do you want for trees? Um, okay, we need a South American small tree. Is the exact opposite of a small tree. Okay, I think this is what we're gonna have to stick him with. Alright, and let's give him a rock. "95% suitability. Good enough for who it's for." Alright, that cost us a lot of money. Unfortunately. um, who else? The 3 leopards and the Siberian tiger. Let's do the Siberian tiger next, I think. I'm probably going to regret this, because these guys are not going to be cheap to keep happy. Terrain of the exhibit is too steep. Okay. Now, not enough snow. Not enough gray stone. All this sand gotta go. Not enough gray stone. Too steep. Too much dirt. Too much brown stone, not enough snow. We better wait till we can finish this off, because I need to do some other stuff that's going to boost it faster than a little bit of terrain tweaking will. So we need like 180 funds, which we should get fairly quickly. And then we need to start putting in some foliage. Okay, what kind of trees do you guys want? Chinese fir, okay. It is a small tree. That's good. Come on, spend money, you dumbasses. I'm going to spread the trees out a bit for now, because that will hopefully satisfy them more quickly. Okay, there we go. They're in the green as far as exhibit suitability is. Now we have a lot more time to tweak shit to make it slightly better. Alright. Unfortunately, making a good exhibit is very expensive. It's near the end of May. I think this is the last tree we're going to put in for now. That gets us to 86% suitability, which I think is slightly more than what we technically needed. We need to hire a zookeeper. Hopefully we get enough before the end of the month to do that. Technically we could have one of the other zookeepers come down here, but they're getting spread kind of thin, so let's not do that. Siberian Tiger 2 has given birth. Oh yeah, that should draw even more people. And also, every baby cat we get is one more cat that we can sell the parents of later for money. Oh, come on. I clicked when it was green. Okay. Okay. So what are the actual requirements for winning here? It's like 85% suitability on everything, isn't it? Yeah. At least 85 for all cat exhibits. There's another 5,000 money. We can use that to quickly get this exhibit to a state that I'm happy with. Too much brownstone, not enough snow. Exhibit is too steep. Not enough fresh water. Really? Oops. Okay, then stop complaining about it being too steep. They're still complaining about too much brownstone. Do they not like brownstone at all? Apparently not. Happier with more rocks. Let's give them a large snowy rock. Nope, they don't like that. Okay, let's give them a large rock then. Here, have 2. Nope, that's too many rock. Okay. Well, that's 94% suitability. That's plenty. And that also cost a lot of money. Alright. The snow leopard goes in here later. And then we have... Let's see, what else? Black leopard and clouded leopard yet? That looks like it's it. Okay, we're doing a lot better money-wise and such like than we were last time. Partially because I spent so much less money on building exhibits. Before, a lot of the exhibits were like 100-tile exhibits. Now they're like 70-tile exhibits. Which... That's significant decrease in terrain modification costs. Alright. How many people do we have in this place anyway? Um... 252 guests. Okay, that's not doing too badly. I don't remember what point you want to buy a second restaurant. It probably wouldn't hurt to get one and put it out here somewhere before long. Because, like, that's cash. Okay. So, as far as leopards go... I kind of want a Japanese garden over here somewhere eventually. Yeah, okay. Just deciding where I wanted to put the other path. Okay, this branch of the path will eventually someday be of use to customers. I am going to put a second restaurant over here right now, and then we're going to start building exhibits over here. So we want the corner of the exhibit to be right there. And I think the leopards were 35 tile animals. I better double check. Clouded leopard. Okay. Clouded leopard. 35 tiles. Okay. I'm pretty sure both leopards are the same tiles. I remember building them very similar exhibits. So 35 tiles is 10 deep. Should be 10 deep. Let's go ahead and cut the train down so it's flat. And then we want 7 wide. Boom. Boom. Okay, we don't even have enough to build the full fence. Some of the Bengal tigers here are definitely more grown up than I want them to be. Okay. They're complaining the animals are unhappy it's too crowded. Okay. Female, male, female, female. Okay, you get sold. And you get sold. Now, we better go check on the lions because they're the other group that is likely to be too out of area. Nope. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Lions didn't breed until way late this time. Okay. Boom, Exhibit 9. Boom, Exhibit 10. These two are going to hold leopards. Okay, we have all the exhibits we're going to need built. Now, that's not to say those exhibits have animals in them. Quite the opposite. Or that they're ready to have animals in them, for that matter. Just because the fence has been laid out doesn't mean that we are in any way, shape, or form ready to stick an animal in here. We still don't have the cat climbing tree thing. And we definitely have some cats that would appreciate that. Okay, we're unlocking it right now. Done in 3 days. Alright. What are you looking for? Clouded leopard, black leopard. All research programs have been completed. Yay! Alright. You get a cat tree! Pretty sure the cheetahs don't want a cat tree, neither do the tigers. But the other cats over here are going to want them. The leopards, except the snow leopard. I don't think the snow leopard wants them. But the leopards all want cat climbing trees. Alright. The black leopards are cheaper than the clouded leopards somehow. It's going to cost $3,200 just for a pair of these bastards. Anyway. Let's look at the terrain mix. 80% rainforest, 20% grass. They don't want any water. That's for the clouded leopard. The black leopard is 85% rainforest, 10% grass. Okay, so the black leopard wants more rainforest. Neither of them want water. Okay. So if we go ahead and give them a nice starting amount. Okay, first of all, let's put some shelters in. And then let's give them a nice solid 80% grass to start with. Or, 80% rainforest floor, I mean. Oops. There we go. There's 50% for each. That's a good start. And then, let's see. We can adjust once we get the animals in for the rest of it. We might as well go ahead and put in the cat toys too. Basically get everything in here that's going to be expensive and that I know they need. And then once that's all taken care of, we can wait till I have more money. Which it is only August of year 1. So we still have almost a year. We should have plenty of time to make enough money to buy 6 animals and a bit more stuff over there. Okay, we better buy a maintenance worker. And we better sell some lions. Okay, lion 4, you get sold. Lion 1, you get sold. Okay. Leopard 2, you get sold. They complained about that. Suck it up. We don't need overcrowding to happen around here. Let's manually shuttle the maintenance worker around so he takes care of these faster. So this is the drawback of choosing the cheap fence. For one, it's not pretty, and the guests dislike seeing it. They don't dislike seeing it, they just... It doesn't make them happy. It's not helpful. And also deteriorates quickly, needs repairs. Which, it's not that expensive to repair stuff like that, honestly. Okay, we've got 5,000 money. It's going to cost a big chunk of that to buy the leopards. It's going to cost like 4,000 to get the leopards started. Because we need 3,200 for 2 leopards, and then we need another 800 for a zookeeper for this part of the zoo. So I'd like to have like 7,000 before I start trying to set up the black leopards. Maybe a little more. This restaurant's making money. Quite a lot, actually. Yeah, average monthly profit is actually higher than the first restaurant. Probably because more people are hanging out in this area. Alright, where's my maintenance worker? There he is. The fences are all breaking out in leprosy. Okay, that should take care of that. Month rolled over, so we lost a bunch of money. Not surprising at all. So we are making profit every month. That's important. The compost building has made a profit several times over at this point, so we're good on that. I wonder... I could fit another carousel in right over here. That might suck more money out of people. So it's kind of interesting, the way prices are handled at attractions. Every guest who visits an attraction buys 2 adult and 1 kid ticket. But that's not attractions, that's entrance fee. It's either 3 adult and 1 kid or 2 adult and 1 kid ticket per person who enters. Doesn't matter what kind of guest it shows visually. They all buy multiple entry tickets. And then for attractions, I think they buy 3 tickets as well. Something like that anyway. But anyway, that's why, one reason why you make so much money despite few people actually arriving. It's because they all buy multiple tickets. Alright, we've got the 7,000 monies that I said I needed before I went and bought black leopards, so let's go ahead and do that now. Okay. Needs more foliage, not enough grass, not enough rainforest floor, too much sand. Okay. I think these guys want a little bit of dirt. Yep. Okay. That should be everything they want. As far as terrain modification. Now, what kind of tree do they like? They like foxtail palm. I hate to break it to them, but I think the foxtail palm is a large tree. It is not, actually. Okay, good. Well, that means they can have some then. More baby lions. And that's 95% suitability. Let's give them a rainforest rock of some kind. And they should be happy with that. And if they're not, sucks to be them. They want more rocks, but they can just live without them. Alright. Now, we need another 3,600 to buy the animals for the next exhibit. The clouded leopard. Now these guys want mangroves, but apparently they don't want water. It's a little weird, but anyway. I'm going to go ahead and give them some mangroves to start with. So that they'll be less needy when I drop them into the pen. I'm definitely not going to give them enough mangroves. I'm just going to give them some. There we go. Alright. Now we just complete this area, which is going to be mostly rainforest floor. Okay, let's hold off on spending any more money for now. The end of the month expenses are coming up soon. Where is that lazy asshole maintenance worker? You. Got a job for you. Fix that fence. Fix that fence. Fix that fence. Okay. Man, there are constant fence breakages happening all over the place. Okay, he's going to fix the fence right now. Oh, it's probably this one. Okay, he's monitoring zoo, which means there's no fences that are broken at the moment. Alright. We're $1,000 in the hole, but that's turning around quickly. We have 2 exhibits to build, and we have, like 8 months, almost 9 months to do it in. We're about halfway done with the scenario, I think. So we've got plenty of time to finish this scenario. The 2 carousels plus 2... yeah. We're making pretty good money with 2 restaurants. Also, how many people do we have in this place? 383. Okay. We don't really have a huge number of people in the zoo at the moment. Guest happiness is 78, so that's not terrible either. If we had unlimited time and didn't have, like, specific objectives, I would be trying to pump up guest happiness as much as possible right now. I would have started earlier, probably even. Because really you don't need that many animal exhibits in your zoo to keep your guests happy. Because in some ways you don't even really want that many exhibits in a zoo. Early on, particularly. Because... like, you want to drag the people around long enough for them to get super happy, but then you want them to leave. Because if they don't leave, then you can't get zoo benefactors. And zoo benefactors are big money. And sure, the longer you can keep them in, the more money you can make off them with concessions. So that's good. But concessions aren't everything. So in the early-ish game, when you're not playing a scenario, there's a fairly strong argument to be made for cycling people through the zoo as quickly as possible, while keeping their happiness as high as possible. Which you do by having happy animals. Okay, we can probably afford to buy the animals for this pen now. Let's see, we need the clouded leopard now. Let's assign the zookeeper who belongs assigned. Yeah, these guys have suitability of 80 already, and I haven't even started tweaking the exhibit. Okay, not enough grass. Okay. More rainforest floor. Alright. Technically, the exhibit is good enough to be done now. But that's only 91% suitability. I'd like to get their suitability a little higher. Mid-90s is good. Let's give them a rock. $93. Well, I don't have infinite money. We'll call 94 good enough. Okay, I think the only thing we have left is the snow leopard now. Let's check real quick. Yep, all we've got left is snow leopards. Alright, we can easily get into snow leopards, so we'll have plenty of time to spruce up the appearance of this place. Yeah. And we should probably replace the fences with better fences, too. Because I don't want to have to be shuttling the maintenance worker around for the rest of my life. I could buy more maintenance workers. And that would probably be cheaper than replacing all the fences. Okay, he's going to fix fence, but I'm not sure what fence he's going to fix. Let's see where he heads off to. There must be a fence down here behind these trees. Okay, that's fine. We'll let him go fix his fence. Another one over there just broke. Alright. It's November. Cash is negative for the moment. That's not going to last forever. How much are we going to need to do snow leopards? Snow leopards are 2,400 apiece. Okay. 4,800 just for the leopards. We're going to need more than double that for adding snow, stuff like that. Speaking of which, let's get started on that. Put some snow up there. That was 1,200 alone for those few tiles. 3x4 section of snow. We're going to need some of this brown stone, I'm pretty sure. I remember there being gray stone involved too. Guess we'll find out in a minute or three. Let's hire another maintenance worker. Keeping ahead of all these fences is going to be quite the job. Okay. Yeah, the restaurants are definitely the big money makers here. We have two entire zoo benefactors. That is what low happiness gets you. Our guest happiness is not only in the mid-70s, which is not very good. It's not terrible, but it's not very good either. Well, Bengal tigers are all grown up. Siberian tigers, I mean. We better go ahead and sell these off. Okay. And it looks like our white Bengal tigers are all grown. Okay. Lions are still... Okay. Believe that takes care of all of those. That gets a good amount of cash. I'd like a few thousand more before we go trying to populate this. I think we'll go ahead and try to fill this in during December sometime. So, the deteriorating fences, if you don't repair them, they will eventually deteriorate down to the point where there's basically no fence there. At which point the animals will escape. And then funny things happen. Unfortunately, I need to keep the animals happy, and animals aren't happy when they're running around in the zoo, which you think they would be. There'd be lots of fun things to chase. But, alas, apparently they don't actually enjoy it as much as they look like they are. Okay, we're very close to December. We have 11K in the bank, so we're cranking the cash out. Of course, a lot of that cash came from selling animals. If we look at our money graph here, we're making almost 10K a month on concessions. So those two restaurants are paying off. Admissions is like 2,500, 3,000, roughly around there. Recycling, a lot of that was animals. Okay, so we didn't actually make nearly as much from animals as I thought we did. We made like 3,000 off animals. But dude, that's good money still, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to concessions. Concessions was the big one. And then private donations, we make a couple of peanuts. Oh well. Apparently, only some of that. Yeah, here we go. Exhibit donations. Nobody donated anything to that exhibit. This one, on the other hand, made 20 bucks last month. Well, of course no one's donated to this exhibit. There's nothing in it. What's the most popular exhibit as far as money? That one's made 29,000 last, or 29. I wish it was 29,000. $29 last month. 14 bucks. Ooh. This one actually made a ton of money. Also, it's got too many animals in it. Okay. This one made almost 50 bucks in donations. Anyway, so only some of our donation money is actually coming directly from zoo benefactors. The rest is coming from donations to individual exhibits by people who are looking at the exhibit at the moment. Alright, we have plenty of cash to go ahead and buy a pair of snow leopards. And let's go ahead and assign the zookeeper here, who has been earmarked for that exhibit. Alright, what do you little slime balls want? Too much brown stone, not enough gray stone, not enough snow. 4 is an exhibit with more cliffs or hills. Okay. Well, we got a thing for having 10 different species. To replace all the sand with snow. Alright, now let's do some gray stone scattered around the brown stone. Maybe they don't want any brownstone. I thought for sure they took a mixture of the two. Okay, I guess not. Well. Too much sand. I'm pretty sure there's no sand left in here. What do you want about? Oh wait, no, there's some sand over there. Okay, exhibit with more hills. Okay, that was easy enough to satisfy. More foliage. Feeling crowded by too many guests. Okay, fine. Let's reduce the area they can look at them through. More foliage. What kind of foliage do they want? Himalayan pine. Okay. Himalayan pine is a small tree. Hell yeah. There's another reward that doesn't give me anything. Birth of an endangered animal. Black leopard. Hell yeah. It's another free 10k. Our money problems are over forever. Alright. Gonna replace some of the more okay. More rocks. .91 suitability. That's good enough. Okay. I'm going to replace all of the interior fences. Okay. Okay, that was a lot of money down the drain. But that should greatly ease the maintenance worker needs. I believe we have finished everything we need to finish for the scenario. Let's double check. That's everything. Now we just have to wait for 18 months to be up and we're done. And for the next 6 months, I'm going to spend every penny we get on improving zoo beauty. I think. And generally raising guest happiness. Because we might as well, there's nothing else to do with the money. Anyway, okay, we're out of the hole again. Now just to make about 2,000 so I can place this Japanese garden. Which the Japanese garden is just going to be there for increasing guest happiness. And then the next up, we're going to replace as many paths as we can, I think. Anyway. 500th guest. Well, too bad that doesn't give me any money. Anyway. Okay, that should be a small increase to guest happiness there. Let's see, what kind of path should I use for this? Let's use brick paths. I like the brick path best, I think. Let's do the viewing areas first. And then we'll come back and get the main paths next. Okay. Yeah, we were really set on guest happiness. I would try to put in some animal houses as well, because those give a pretty good return. But honestly, I'm not that interested in. Yeah, the zoo design, it's not great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. Let's scatter around a bunch of flower beds. And let's see, let's use these flower beds across the backs of the viewing areas. Okay. Guest happiness is down to 71, actually. Which means we probably got a bunch of fresh guests that dropped it. I don't have any cat topiaries or anything. Let's put some hedges down either side of the entrance path. Okay. Now, How much money are we actually making a month still? 12K from concessions. Alright. We just blew a huge amount on construction. Unsurprisingly. Looks like we have too many lions in the lion pen again. Far, far too many lions in the lion pen. Turn around, check the rest of the pens, make sure we don't have unexpected abundance in them. Looks like things are pretty under control. The only baby animals we actually have is the baby black leopard. What do you mean he'd like a toy? He's got a frickin' toy. Whatever. Yeah, you actually don't start with any of the animal houses unlocked. Okay. Let's go ahead and unlock the animal houses. They're basically guest happiness cheat codes. Okay. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of money to finish repathing the zoo. Unfortunately, I can't see how much. Not immediately, anyway. I could probably add up how many paths it is and figure it out that way, but that sounds like work. I'd have to count how long the various sections of path are and blah. Alright. Alright. Doesn't this show how many visitors it's received? I guess you could figure it out by taking income divided by expense. Okay, we just have one stretch of ancient, horrible path left. It'll cost a couple thousand to replace that. And then we'll be well on the way to having a much nicer looking zoo. Meanwhile, guest happiness continues to drop, which is unfortunate. Reptile house is now available. Okay, well that's a sure indicator we should build one of those. There it is, reptile house. Yeah, we can fit it in right here. We'll set it to Reptiles of the Rainforest, which is +5 happiness for adults and children. We'll put the other animal houses over here, I think. Or maybe over here. Yeah. Alright. It's March. We're in negative money. Again. About what I would expect. It does look like we will be able to succeed in getting the zoo beautified before the end of the scenario. At least somewhat. I'd like to redo all of the fences on this. You know, remove the remaining chain link. That's probably going to be a bridge too far as expenses go. It's going to take probably 5,000 or so to just replace these paths. Well, maybe not. Okay, it's $14.50 per stretch. It's not too bad. We can get a couple more animal houses in. I probably will focus on improving the fences next. Unfortunately, these fences are really expensive. Really, really quite expensive. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, the window pieces are much cheaper. Which I suppose is fine. Primate house is now available. We definitely want to build one of those. There we go. Let's put it over here. No, let's put it over here. We can go right here beside the cat pen there. Okay. Getting close to the end of the month. I should probably fire at least one of the maintenance workers. That'll save me 300 at the beginning of next month. Which, sure, 300 isn't very much money. At least compared to how much it costs to, say, buy a single piece of fence. But that isn't really the point. Come on. Well, end of the month hit. All our money disappeared. I don't remember if the end of the month amount is all the building maintenance costs plus worker costs, or if it's just worker costs, or it probably is building upkeep as well. Because I have like, what, 4 zookeepers? No, it might just be employee wages, because yeah, it'd be a lot more money if it was also the building upkeep. Yeah, anyway. We're making good money. Guest happiness is still not great. We haven't really done a whole lot to increase it, though. And we've increased zoo beauty a lot. That's extremely valuable. But we can always do better than that. Once I finish the front-facing fences on these last couple exhibits, we're going to run around and place information things in front of each exhibit. Those will help some. Wow. I'm not sure how they stack up compared to other decorative objects. I don't think they have any benefit beyond just their decorative appearance, but I'm not actually sure how that works. It certainly doesn't hurt anything to have an exhibit sign everywhere. I'm gonna assume that the guests like seeing the exhibit signs scattered around. They've always seemed to serve me well when I was placing decorations, but... Alright, now we have the aviary. I'm kind of tempted to flatten some ground and put it over here at the end. That'd be kind of cool, actually. And it's not even particularly expensive to do either. Okay. Now, I'd like to replace the last bits of this chain link fence because it's bothering me. As expensive as hell as it's going to be to do, it's got to be done eventually. It doesn't have to be done, I just want to do it. And it's going to cost like $5,000 just for this stretch, probably. Which is a bit painful, but... yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than $5,000 for this stretch. I think we could be able to do it with the funds for this month. And then we'll need to do 2 more divider walls yet. Damn it. End of the month. There goes all our money. Can we feed people to the tigers yet? We have 2 months left. We could feed people to the tigers anytime we wanted. However, they've been giving me lots of money, so I don't need to feed them to the tigers. Is there anyone who's actively unhappy? Doesn't look like it. How much are these places making? 3,000, 2,000. Okay. We could maybe even fit a 3rd restaurant before long. Those snow leopards look hungry. I don't know, like, only some animals will actually eat to guests. I'm pretty sure tigers are one that will. I don't remember if lions will eat a guest or not. It's pretty hard to get an animal to actually eat a guest, unfortunately. It's fairly easy to get, like, a T-Rex to do it, though. Which is one reason why it's well worth having a T-Rex in every zoo. But we're not playing Dinosaur Digs scenarios, so... alas. No T-Rex yet. It'd be kind of fun to play the Dinosaur Digs scenarios, because I never have. Remember correctly, the final scenario for the DLC has you trying to breed the T-Rexes. Which would be a task for sure. Like, the final scenario for the standard game is to breed giant pandas, which is not... I'm going to say it's not very hard, but I remember it not being very hard when I did it many years ago. Who knows what it'll actually be like when I do it again. None of these scenarios are all that hard, honestly. This one's kind of a pain in the butt. But even here, I managed to make a lot more money this time around than I did last time, and I saved more money by making cheaper exhibits. Deadly snakes of the world. Okay, that should be an upgrade to the reptile house. Oh yeah. Massive upgrade. Okay. There is no more chain link. Oh, damn it. There is too some chain link. There is about to be no more chain link in the zoo. There are no more dirt paths in the zoo. All paths have been replaced with brick. There's a pretty decent amount of flower beds and stuff around. Although I'm going to add more of those in a minute here. Going to add the yellow flower beds between exhibits. Okay. Primates of Southeast Asia. That's a slight increase, but everyone likes that one more than the other. With a more balanced increase to happiness. Okay. I'm gonna run this hedge all the way up the outside here. Well, we would if we weren't out of money. 1 month to finish the scenario. We have 549 guests in the zoo. That's pretty good. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick an elephant ride over here. If I can afford it. The elephant ride has a negative beauty stat for adults at least. But we're not going to have much issue with that, I don't think. Also, I didn't build any elephant rides because they don't usually make much money. should put in an elephant ride and a petting zoo. Actually, I want to put the elephant ride right here. If I remember correctly. There we go. And then we'll put a petting zoo up along the edge too. Not that it matters, we're on the final month anyway. Their chance of getting guest happiness up by any measurable amount is basically zero. Yeah, the petting zoo is nice and cheap. And it does increase guest happiness for at least certain guests a little bit. Birds of Africa, now available. Boom. It's a solid little bump. Alright. Clear out an extra leopard. Okay. We're almost done with the month. Let's just check our scenario objectives one more time. Lions, tigers, other differenter tigers, more differenter tigers, leopards, other differenter leopards, more differenter leopards, even more differenter leopards, cheetahs. I do not have 2 jaguars. Really? Where are my damn jaguars? I have 1 lousy jaguar in the jaguar pen. Did I accidentally sell one? Okay, well, it's a good thing we double checked, because I would be absolutely livid if I had to play this scenario again because we were missing a freaking jaguar. That or we had one die of old age or something. Got some messages about cheetahs being ill and Siberian tiger being ill, which is no longer the case. Okay, well, I'm extremely glad we checked that then, because we almost lost the scenario. Okay, why is adopt 2 jaguars not highlighted yet? There's 2 jaguars. Okay, now it's highlighted. Okay. It's near the end of June. We have 3,000 monies. What can we spend money on? Yeah, we could do a little more decoration or something, but I don't think I need to. I think I'll just keep the money instead. A little bit of money for our head zookeeper to retire on or something. We continue to have the average guest happiness of 69, which is not nice. White Bengal Tiger 2 has died of old age. We almost lost the scenario again. Let's, you know what? Let's save the game here. Because if I have some creature die at the very end of the scenario, and we lose because of that, I am going to be extremely displeased. White Bengal Tiger. There we go. Looks good. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to the other Jaguar too. I was fairly certain that the animals didn't start dying of old age until multiple years in, not that point. We must have got unlucky and rolled low on a couple of them or something. June 30th. Let's scan the list again. Animal happiness of at least 90. Well, actually, average animal happiness rating of 90, which our animal happiness is 97. That's not that hard then. At least 85 for all exhibits. We have that. 2 jaguars, 2 cheetahs, 2 clouded leopards, 2 snow leopards, 2 black leopards, 2 leopards, 2 Siberian tigers, 2 white Bengal tigers, 2 Bengal tigers, 2 lions, and 18 months to complete, which is about ready to turn over right now. There we go. Yay, we've won. Saving the great cats. So I believe next we have endangered species, though. Yeah. So this one, we have to produce baby examples of all 3 endangered species. We need to have, at some point during the scenario, possessed at least 1 baby black leopard, at least 1 baby okapi, and at least 1 baby white Bengal tiger. We don't have to possess them at the end of the scenario. We just have to possess them at some point during the scenario. Average animal happiness of 90, that's trivial. Average guest happiness rating of 93. That is extremely non-trivial. Zoo rating of 70, that's no problem. Exhibit suitability rating of at least 70 for 12 exhibits, that's also no problem, because notice it doesn't say what kind of exhibits they have to be. Worst case, we can just plop down 5 or 6 minimum size lion exhibits and get that basically instantly. But average guest happiness rating of 93 is very difficult. Not impossible. But we need to start planning from fairly early into the scenario for guest happiness to be our overriding goal. So basically, to win this scenario, we need to quickly build 3 exhibits for these 3 animals, the black leopard, the okapi, and the white Bengal tiger. And then we just need to focus on average guest happiness while cranking out whatever other cheap exhibits we can think of that are reasonably attractive. This is one where we don't want huge numbers of people entering our zoo. Arctic Zoo. That one is also a mainline one we have to do. This one's trivial though. 12 months. Exhibit suitability rating of at least 75 for 6 exhibits. You don't get to pick your animals. That's the hard part. But also you don't have to pay for the animals either. So it's not that bad. Animal happiness of 80. That's a given. You'll get that no matter what. Beach resort. I believe this is a DLC mission. I had to look it up to be sure. And then after that, we unlock the advanced ones. Island Zoo. This one is something for sure. I remember this one. This one, you got tiny little islands. You can't raise the terrain around the islands. So you're just stuck with these little areas. Lots of weird, odd size exhibits. Very little space to build in. You just kind of got to cram everything into every little corner you can find. Exhibit suitability of 85 for 10 exhibits. The 10 is the hard part here, not the 85. Average animal happiness rating of 93. That's trivial. Zoo rating of 75. That should be trivial. Average guest happiness of 93. That is non-trivial, but we have 2 years to do it in. The guest happiness is probably the hardest part of that, because the confined space is going to make it hard to keep happiness up. The Savannah Zoo. Exhibit suitability of 80 for 13 exhibits. That's a lot of exhibits, but it is a 2-year scenario. 20 animals from the savannah. Basically, you're going to cram every single savannah. Actually, no, wait. That's 20 animals. It's not 20 species. It's 20 animals. So you could do that with one large exhibit. Average animal happiness 93, not too hard. Guest happiness of 93, very hard. That's not that hard, I guess, but it is difficult. Zoo rating of 75, that's trivial. You notice a lot of these have guest happiness rating of 93. Going forward, we're pretty much going to have to focus on guest happiness really hard. Mountain Zoo. This one, thank goodness we don't have to worry about guest happiness. The terrain is very non-flat for this scenario, if I remember correctly. Spend a lot of money flattening terrain. We're going to have to. 15 different animal species. Otherwise, not too hard. Just build 15 different exhibits and off you go. I think you can still get 80 suitability if you have multi-species exhibits for the Savannah ones. Most of those you can get at least 80. So we should be able to have some large multi-animal Savannah exhibits, and that'll chunk at least a few of them off. Plus, they're super attractive. Guests love to look at those. Tropical Rainforest Zoo. 17 different species. That's a 3-year scenario. Exhibit suitability rating of 90. That's a little more difficult. You have to be careful to pick animals that aren't too hard to build exhibits for. Guest happiness rating of 90. Sure, whatever. The real problem here is 17 exhibits, which isn't hard. I think that's the last advanced scenario then. And then we have Paradise Island, which I don't remember much about this one. For completing this one, you unlock the first secret animal. And then breeding the giant pandas, for which you unlock the second secret animal. And then I guess we go back to the start and start over with Dinosaur Digs once. But anyway. I'm not terribly interested in the Marine Mania ones. I think I already know what the Marine Mania secret animal is because we saw a guest who had favorite animal of Loch Ness Monster. I don't remember if that's actually a. It might just be an animal you can straight up get. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm much more interested in the Dinosaur Digs content though. Because dinosaurs are cool, whereas some random fish aren't. But anyway. Oh, here it actually tells you which scenarios to do. Oh, for some of them. Yeah, the last Dinosaur Dig scenario is breeding the T-Rex. I'm really curious what I don't know what the Dinosaur Dig secret animal is. I do know what the secret animals are for the base game, because I've unlocked those before when I was much younger. They're very cool, and I won't say what they are until we get there. I guess if you want to find out, you can look them up. I would suggest not, though, because it'll be a fun surprise when we get there. I don't know what the Dinosaur Dig's secret animal is. Zoo rating a 90? That's pretty hard to do. Notably, there is no time limit on this one. That's interesting. Is that the only scenario without a time limit? So apparently, as soon as you get all of these finished, it just finishes. Well, I don't know why that'd be a very advanced scenario then. It'd have to be a very easy one. Just might take a while. Okay, there are a couple others that don't have time limits either, I guess. Huh. I don't think there's any base game scenarios that don't have time limits. Oh well. It is not quite 10:30 yet, but if I was to start another scenario, we would definitely not finish it. We're probably not going to be able to do... Let's see, how many scenarios do we have left in the base game? Let's actually count them instead of talking about them. Endangered Species Zoo. Okay, that's 1, 2. I think Beach Resort isn't required. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scenarios left. And we're definitely not going to be able to do more than one per stream. And particularly these later 3-year ones might require more than one stream. Probably not, though. Well, yeah, probably so. Because it took us like at least 2.5 hours to do half of that. So I guess unless I made sure I started those streams earlier, which I should be doing anyway, but yeah. Oh well. That sounds like it's future Milo problem. Needless to say, we're going to be spending several more months minimum playing Zoo Tycoon. I certainly don't have any complaints about that. Yeah. Tomorrow is Friday already. And that means EDF. Should be quite a bit of fun. Saturday, we're definitely going to play some amount of Timberborn until we have, or until I decide that we have completed the current Timberborn colony. And then we'll move on to a different game. Did I decide what we were doing? I don't remember if I did or not. If I did decide what we were doing, I'm not remembering it at the moment. Oh, it's probably either Phantom Brigade or Homeworld Deserts of Karak, honestly. Probably Homeworld, but we'll see. And then, of course, whatever we use to finish off Saturday, we'll also do on Sunday. Monday will be some good old Crab Champions. Tuesday and Wednesday will likely be Opus Magnum. We're pretty close to the end of the DLC. Like halfway through the DLC. So I wouldn't be surprised if it took both days, but I would also not be surprised at all if we finished it near the end of the second day. Regardless, once Opus Magnum is done, we'll have to pull another game off the pile for midweek. Probably for next week, though, not this one. Or this one. Week after next. There we go. The 7-day period after the end of the current one. To ignore the actual weekends. But anyway. And then, of course, next Thursday, we will go on to the next Tycoon scenario. For tonight, though, let's see. Is anyone in the old follow list doing anything? No. No, they are not. Okay. Well, that's fine. We had a good run there, being able to raid people for a little while, I suppose. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for some EDF shenaniganry. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.